Hello everyone, ProJaked here, and welcome back for the first time in some time to the center of the universe. Now, this update is quite the big one. This is not to do with behind the scenes stuff or Q&A. It is relating to universe and universe canon, quote unquote. I will quickly address the behind the scenes stuff. The move to the PC modding side has gone spectacularly well. Most of it is done. I'd say it's about 85% done. And I'm not going to say you're going to be seeing it straight away, but you will 100% be seeing 2K19 PC mod throughout the Royal Rumble pay-per-view, which it's going to be in sometime. Anyway, the Royal Rumble and the time taken to get there kind of leads on to the point of this video. And the point of this video is not to do so much with the gaps in the videos in that regard. Like, I don't know where I was going with that one, but it's going to do with... It is going to do actually with the gaps in the videos, now that I think about it, because, as we know, we are heading up to the Royal Rumble, which is usually a January pay-per-view. However, at the time of recording this, we are at the start of August in real life. So, we need to address this in some sense. The problem with this is that people like Roman Reigns have been cataclysmically gaining days on their reigns when, in reality, they aren't there yet. For example, Roman Reigns is... If we were to go off the real day calendar, is on 384 days, which would put, at the time of recording this video, I should say, which is the 2nd of August 2020. That will put him 6 days behind Bobby Fischer's reign as WWE Champion of 390 days. The difference is, though, is that in that time, those 390 days that Bobby Fischer's WWE Champion was 390 days legitimately. There were episodes every single week, pay-per-views every single month or so, and Bobby Fish was the champion throughout it all. So it was 390 days in real life, but it was also 390 days within universe. In Roman Reigns' regard, this isn't the truth. If I was to go off of when he actually won the title, which is the 15th of July 2019, which is legitimate for universe and for real life, Roman Reigns would be nowhere near the 384, I believe, that he was on up until this decision was made. So, here today, I am here to address there has been a massive change to the timeline. And by this I mean, the reign of Roman Reigns is not on 384 days anymore, as it is not the 2nd of August 2020 within real life, within universe. It is, I have done the math, it is the 20th of January 2020 within universe. Yes, that is a gap of almost 7 months, but we'll gloss over that. But the reality is, from now on, and this has rolled back a bit, every reign within universe will be going off of a timeline, not the real days. This has had a massive knock-on effect for current reigns and a knock-on effect for previous reigns beforehand. I will explain the best that I can right now. So, as I said, Roman Reigns has been champion for 384 days. That is not the case anymore. His current reign sits at 189 days at the time of this video, which is before SmackDown. Now, the dates that these people are champion will not update according to real life. It will update by the day that the show happens. So the next show will be SmackDown on January 22nd, 2020. This means that once the show airs, Roman Reigns' reign will go from 189 days to 191 days, because within universe timeline, the difference between Raw and SmackDown is 2 days. So, I understand it's quite complex, and I understand it's not going to be something you can wrap your head around the best straight away, but understand that this is a decision I believe is better, because I'm not looking to go back to that 3 episodes a week idea. Even with PC, I like taking my time, I like working my way through it, and I like making the best content I can, not the most content that I can. So, to clarify, we are now in a separate universe timeline to real life. It is currently, at the time of recording this, which is before SmackDown, which will, good news, which will be up in roughly a few days after this video goes out. The timeline is at January 20th, 2020, and all the reigns have been substantially reduced. If you want to have a more in-depth look at this, there is a wiki link that I've had in the description now for years and is frequently updated the best that I can to describe all these reigns. What I will do is I will go through some of the reigns that have been affected by this the best that I can. I will go through this with the modern day reigns the best that I can to describe that some reigns that would have been classified as you know, like Roman Reigns, to once again to bring him up, are not the truth anymore. So as I said, Roman Reigns, who was at 384 days, is now at 189 days. Tommaso Ciampa, who would have been somewhere in the 200s, is now at 50 days. Tetsuya Naito, same goes for him, somewhere in the 200s, now at 78 days. Kenny Omega, who was somewhere in the 180s in real life, is at 42 in universe. Kota Ibushi at 50, Rusev at 36, War Machine at 8, The Saviors at 22, The Revival at 36, Rey Mysterio also at 36, Tessa Blanchard at 171, and Shayna Baszler at 22. I have worked this out the best that I can, basing it off of that No Way Out was November the 3rd, 2019, and everything that has gone off of that. So when it is week 12 in universe, it is 12 weeks after No Way Out. Just to clarify that to be the case. This meant that Survivor Series took place on December the 1st, 2019. Anarchy Rules took place on December the 15th, 2019. TLC Tables, Ladders and Chairs was December the 29th, 2019. And the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view was the 12th of January, 2020. This means that the Royal Rumble will take place, if my math is correct, which I have to recheck my calendar because it isn't. The Royal Rumble will take place on February 2nd, 2020 within the universe timeline. This means that although the Royal Rumble may not be coming your way until September for all we know, in reality it is in the universe timeline, it is February 2nd, 2020. The timeline will only update when a new episode of Universe comes out. This has had a knock-on effect, as I said before, with previous reigns, as I will go into detail now. As a result of this, the top 10 reigns have been completely whitewashed. Some people who were the longest reigning champions are no longer the longest reigning champions, and some have seen their combined days drop drastically from maybe a position where they could have been at the top or the top 5 of combined days as champion, seeing them right down at the bottom. Case in point, again, to go back to him, because he feels as if he's the most hard done by this timeline, Roman Reigns was the longest reigning World Heavyweight Champion by date, which he still is. He still has the longest single reign as World Heavyweight Champion at 189 days. Marty Scurll is in second place with 182. However, in combined days, he was first. With the real-life timeline, he is now down to third behind Scurll and Sting when all the reigns are factored in and combined. Other people this is affected in other reigns, so in previous reigns, before this came into perspective, these have been affected as well. So Kazuchika Okada's reign as WWE Champion heading into Survivor Series was somewhere in the region of, I believe, 270, maybe a little bit more, maybe 290. It has now been drastically reduced down to 237 days as WWE Champion. Because when he lost it, which was on the 1st of December 2019 and not March of 2020, that is the date that the reign ended in the universe timeline. Other people this may impact, Pete Dunne. Pete Dunne was technically the longest reigning United States champion, but when the dates are rolled back and he didn't lose it on... When was that show? Let me quickly double check so I don't lose the flow. That show was on 19th of February 2020, which is 2 months before, 2 months after within Universe that he lost it, which was on the 9th of December 2019. As such, Pete Dunne is no longer, in Universe terms, the longest reigning United States champion. This rolls on for quite a few others as well. Jay White, who was 1 day off of beating Bobby Fischer's reign for the Intercontinental title, is now somewhere like 60 days off it. Seth Rollins has regained the longest reigning ECW Television Championship reign by 1 day over John Cena. Supremacy are no longer the longest reigning Raw Tag Team Champions. That goes back to the Authors of Pain. Buddy Murphy is no longer the longest reigning Cruiserweight Champion. That goes back to Neville. Tessa Blanchard is no longer the longest reigning Raw Women's Champion. That goes back to Rosemary. And I believe I may have missed one more. But for the most part, that is all of them covered. Now, of course, there are some big reigns that have been affected by this because they ended long before this took place. So, of course, I'm on about the obvious. Seth Rollins' 729 is still 729. Bobby Fischer's 390-day reign is still 390 days, but more have been affected by it. I understand this isn't very easy to grasp your head around. I understand this is confusing and complex, but in the long run, for adjusting how long these title reigns are, it will make the most sense. So say we don't get to WrestleMania until January 2021 in real life. Roman Reigns is going to be, he's going to be 6 months away from Seth Rollins' reign at that point. But in universe terms, he would have only been champion for not even 8 months. Not even 9 months, sorry. Just over 8 months, knocking on the door of 9. So would it make sense in that regard for in real life terms to look at the longest reigns? If Reigns was to retain at WrestleMania and go on to beat that reign of Rollins, would it be right to call Roman Reigns the longest reigning world champion, or the longest reigning champion in history of this universe, when, yes, he's got 2 years in real life, but in universe, he only has, let's say, 1? Is that fair? Is that right? And my personal take is that it isn't. My personal take is that these should now go off of the dates that they're happening within a universe timeline and not within the dates that they're happening in real life. Now, don't worry. This will stay up to date. I will do my best job to make sure I'm staying on top of the days, day by day by day, show by show by show. I'm not using the universe calendar, which is 4 weeks for every month. I'm using the calendar that exists in real life. This will be stayed on top of the best that I can, and I understand if it's confusing. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments below. I will do the best that I can to answer them. Also, if you want to take a look at these reigns for yourself, as I said, the wiki link is down, I believe, towards the bottom of the links. Please take a look at that if you are skeptical, but then hopefully looking at the wiki will explain it better for you. Fingers crossed, this'll carry over and make sense for you guys, because I think this is a better idea going forward than just going by the real day schedule, because as I said, there could be a likelihood, you never know, there could be a likelihood that Roman Reigns overtakes Seth Rollins' reign, but it's based off of real life, and in the universe, Reigns is nowhere near close enough to Rollins' reign to take it away. Am I doing this to protect Seth Rollins? You're goddamn right, no I'm not. I'm doing this because I believe this makes more sense in the long run, and it will make for a more interesting and a more representable reign. So Roman Reigns' reign is 189 days. That's still impressive. That's still the longest reign for what? That's still the longest World Heavyweight Championship reign in one title reign. But it is not the 384 that it was before this change was made. I hope, again, this makes as much sense as it can to you guys. Hopefully, as time goes on and as time is stretched out, this makes more and more and more sense to you guys. Like I said, if you have any aching questions, please feel free to ask them in the comments below. The link to the wiki will be there as well. I'll pin it in the comments as well, just to make sure that you guys can access it. Go through the thing, check all the champions out, make sure that these reigns make sense to you, and then when we get to SmackDown, I'm sure there'll still be alien questions, and I will try to answer them the best that I can. But truthfully, honestly, I had a discussion with some of the people in the Discord group, which of course you are free to join as well. Link to that also in the description below. We had a discussion about it, and we believe this was the smartest move going forward. So does this mean that some reigns might seem like they're long in real life because they were champions for 7 months in real life, but only 6 weeks in universe? That's a vast overstatement, but you get what I mean. Yes. But will it make more sense within the canon and the timeline of the universe? Yes. 100% in my opinion. It'll take time to get used to, but trust me, it will. Hopefully, I'm 95% sure it will make perfect sense within the weeks and months to come. It might be confusing right now, but in the future, it might make a hell of a lot more sense. Again, that's just it for right now. A lot of changes have happened to Champions reigns. A lot of people have been hard done by it. Just know this is a massive retcon, because I want Seth Rollins to stay on top forever. Yay! No, that's the idea, though. That's the gist of it. We're switching up the timeline so it makes more sense, so that the Royal Rumble is taking place, even if it's September in real life, it's February 1st in universe. I hope this works out well, because in my opinion, in my mind, and with the people who I was talking about this with in the Discord server, it works a lot better than what was currently on the plans. Also, this means that Bobby Fish stays second in the longest reigns of all time as well. I don't know the rest of the order right now. I still need to work that out at the time of recording this video. By the time this video goes out, it will probably be there for you all to see. Anyway, that ends this little ramble of the center of the universe. I hope this makes as much sense as it can for you all. Again, don't feel afraid to ask questions in the comments or in the Discord server if you're in it or you want to be in it. I will do my best to answer them the best that I can. That ends this episode of Center of the Universe, though. I will see you guys very, very soon for SmackDown. You have my word. I'm ready to be back. I've missed Universe, and I've missed you all, and I will see you very, very soon. Thank you guys for watching. Take care, guys, and ta-ra.